All right, this is the next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussions, continuing our retro pay-per-view review series. This is going to be WWF Survivor Series 1999. I'm your host, Mike.
I'm Frank. Let's get into it. There's a lot to cover.
Yeah,
Considering the fact that the only real match that jumps out at you on this card is the main event,
pretty much.
I was so looking forward to this
So was I.
back then when they signed
We
it.
all were. We all were.
I mean, Rock, Hunter, Austin, something they never did before. We never got it again. Vince as the special guest referee. I mean, this was hot, and
They were
then
the three hottest guys in the business.
exactly,
In
and then
'99, those are the three hottest guys, hands down.
and the whole thing with Austin and the injury, he couldn't go anymore, so they had to storyline him out. It just kind of ruined the whole thing, but it got saved a little bit, but a little bit.
Yeah, we'll get into it. We'll get into it.
But we do have some replacements before we get started again. Like I said, Steve Austin's out of the main event. Big Show replaced him. Speaking of him, and I don't understand what they were thinking with this Survivor Series matchup, but the Big Show was paired with the Blue Meanie and Kai and Tai, and he beat the hell out of them to go at it on his own against
Right, because he beat him up. What did he beat him up on Raw or something like that? I don't know if it was Raw or
on Heat.
SmackDown. Oh, it was Heat? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
And just the fact that he beat three of the guys, one ran
He turned on his team and
that fast. I mean, it just made them look really bad.
Yeah.
And so let's just get into it. Ross and Lawler doing the call in Detroit, Michigan, November 14th, 1999. 18,735 on hand. Opening matchup of the night is D'Lo Brown, Godfather, and the Headbangers versus the Acolytes and the Dudleys. And the Headbangers came out dressed like the pimps, just like D'Lo and Godfather. When the Dudleys came down, I didn't like this that they started the Dudleys off just like they did at ECW with Bubba doing the whole stuttering thing. That's the one thing I didn't like.
Eventually they got rid of it, but yeah.
Yeah, because eventually he got rid of it in ECW when he's cursing out the crowd, calling people, what he did and whatnot. I mean, I just didn't understand.
The only time I kind of liked it was, and it's because I'm a huge Rock fan, was when the Rock didn't know who they were, and he's like, "We're the," and he's like, "Hey, it doesn't matter who you are." I think that was with Mick Foley. I think he had the Rock. It was Rock and Sock, I think, versus the Rock and Sock connection. I think.
Yeah, I believe so. So Bubba, asking for the hose, and Godfather with the no. That got Bubba irate. So here we go. Thrasher was the first one to go out by Bradshaw, the clothesline from hell, and gets the pin. They're down 3-2. Again, a couple of minutes later, Mosh is out by Bubba Dudley with the 3D and the pin. So now we're down to a 4-2 match here. Bradshaw got disqualified. He hit D'Lo and Bubba with the chair because the Acolytes didn't want to be paired with the Dudleys because there was not only on-screen heat with these two teams, but off-screen heat as well between Bubba and Bradshaw. So these guys did not like each other. And so Devon and Farouk were the next two out as it was a double count out as they beat each other up. Now, what didn't make sense with that was they're both on the same team. Why the hell are you counting both of them out? One of them was the legal man. If it was Devon, you count him out. Farouk is still in the match. I didn't understand that either.
They just wanted to get it over with.
I don't blame them. And then Bubba Dudley was the last one out, but the hands of D'Lo with the frog splash and pin. So the sole survivors are D'Lo Brown and the Godfather.
Think about that. Like going forward, how the Dudleys are one of the biggest tag teams of all time, and they got beat by the Godfather and D'Lo Brown.
Same with the Acolytes.
Well, I wouldn't put them in the same sentence as the Dudleys.
But they were up there. They were a badass team for a couple years.
I think for their era, but I'm talking about all time.
Oh, all time, definitely. Yeah, there's no comparison.
Yeah. So
this was the Dudleys first just arriving. So
yeah, I know. But at the same time, they eventually they got their due.
Oh yeah. Next up, they showed the video package of the brand new wrestler that's going to make his debut tonight, Kurt Angle. And this didn't make any sense. Now, Kurt Angle is facing Sean Stasiak. Angle's coming off as a heel. Stasiak is a heel. Right. What are we doing here?
Because I think I could be wrong about this. I think initially the plan was, I think Kurt was supposed to be a babyface initially, I think
Yeah,
it just didn't work because
not with
that
what he
whole
was
like
doing.
yeah. And then they were like, we'll just make him a heel. I think I could be wrong about this, but I understand what you're saying. Like, well, why would you do that? But whatever.
And of all people, Sean
Sean
Stasiak.
Stasiak, yeah.
So I mean, it didn't take long for Angle to hit the Angle slam on Stasiak and
See
get the
ya.
pin. So Angle will be undefeated until the Royal Rumble when Taz comes out and I lose my voice at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, it was illegal. It was an illegal maneuver though.
Win is a win. I don't care. It's in the record books. It's 23 years ago. Get over it. I'm happy for it. That was actually Taz's high moment in
Yeah,
WWF
it was
because
all
after
down.
that it went downhill.
It was all down. It went down here
What
really fast.
wasn't his fault.
No,
They
no,
just
no.
Triple H buried him. So and then I remember seeing Paulie Dangerously. I think it was in 2001 in the ring with Vince McMahon, and he pointed to Taz and said, "That man was the heart and soul of my organization, and you treated him like a bitch. And look what he's doing. He's commentating for you when he should be knocking people out for you." He was right, but what are you gonna do? Next match on the card, next Survivor Series match, you've got Gangrel, Mark Henry, Steve Blackman, and Val Venus versus the European champion, the British Bulldog, and the Mean Street Posse. What the hell are we
What
doing?
the hell was the Bulldog doing with them? The thing is, like,
I don't know.
they just put everybody together and like, just go out there and have a match.
Well,
It's
the
like,
question I have is why did Bulldog come back?
well, because he got fired or whatever
Well,
story you
he,
want to believe from WCW.
WCW, yeah, he's gone. But what I can't understand is we're 2 years out of Montreal,
You know,
and yet you're going back
he,
to the company it didn't make any sense to me.
he needed a job. He needed money. That's the only reason he went back. But
Um,
just getting to Bulldog for a second though, like the Bulldog coming back with the jeans.
yeah, I
I
don't know
never
if
got
that
into it. I never got into. I just never. It never worked. It didn't feel right.
the theme didn't work.
Yeah, I know. I know they were trying to rebrand him. Russo was trying to rebrand him. I mean, at this point, Russo actually had just left, but I guess they were trying to rebrand him. But with the jeans, and it just didn't. I don't know. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
they
It wasn't
put him directly like into the title picture because he
well,
did get
because he
a
turned on
title
the Rock.
shot.
He betrayed the Rock, I think, if I remember
Yeah, and
correctly.
then
Yeah,
and then after that, getting rock bottomed on
yeah, it
dog
was
shit and
just it was bad.
just the whole thing is
Yeah, it
just
was bad. It was bad.
ridiculous. And putting them with the Mean Street Posse, I mean, come on.
I did like the Mean Street Posse. They were funny. I did enjoy their shtick, but it was
Well,
just
speaking of the Mean Street Posse, here we go. Pete Gas is the first one out
mhm.
by Steve Blackman. A thrust kick and a pin. He's gone.
See ya.
Rodney by Gangrel, jumping DDT and a pin. Quickly down 4-2. We're going to make it even worse because Joey Abs is out by Mark Henry, splash and a pin. Bulldogs quickly down 4-1. However, he did come back. Blackman gets eliminated next by the British Bulldog, the Fisherman suplex and a pin. And then Bulldog, unfortunately, actually, I'm sorry, before Blackman, Gangrel went out by Bulldog with a superplex and a pin. And then finally, Bulldog gets eliminated by Val Venus with the money shot and a pin. After the referee was distracted and Mark Henry splashed him. So Mark Henry and Val Venus are the sole survivors here. And also, what didn't make any sense is there's no backstory between these two teams.
No, they just
Bulldog was not feuding with any of them at the time.
No, you got it. But I mean, we're gonna get into this later with the cluster that happened with the main event and everything. When Russo left, they were in a little bit of a I wouldn't say panic mode, but he was the head of creative and he had storylines for everybody. Whether you agree with a lot of the stuff he did, at least when Russo was there, even the mid card guys, the lower mid card guys, they all had their stories going on,
mm-hmm.
right?
And they were used.
When he left, it's kind of like they didn't know what to do with these guys. So I think that was a result of this.
Yeah,
this was a result of that, I should say.
So following that match, Michael Cole is in the women's locker room. Whatever. He's a dead man because he's trying to interview because the next match on the card, and they didn't make this a Survivor Series match. This was called a sudden death, one pinfall match. It was Deborah, the Fabulous Moolah, Mae Young, and Tori versus the women's champion Ivory, Jacqueline, Luna, and Terry Runnels. Now, this was at the time that when Fabulous Moolah had won the title one more time, too, after this against Ivory. Why she's wrestling and why Mae Young is wrestling, I don't know what those two were thinking. especially at the time when the Dudleys put Mae Young through the table. This match didn't make any sense. No wonder why it's a one-fall match because nobody probably bears, even sit through it.
Just wanted
And
to.
it was a 2-minute match.
Thank God.
This should have just been on Sunday Night Heat and been or free
Be
for
done
all
with
or
it.
whatnot. Moolah and Mae Young with a double clothesline on Ivory. Moolah with the splash and a pin, and then Moolah gets the pin and the victory for the team. And then after all of them went at it, and it was chaos and didn't make any sense.
Nobody cared.
No, not really. Not at this point. The women's division was kind of suffering a little bit. Because remember, Sable's gone at this point, and Ivory's the champion, which is, unfortunate. So what are you gonna do? Following this match, Lillian Garcia interviewed X-Pac on his upcoming match. Plus, Michael Cole interviewed Tori and Kane. X-Pac is just like, that big red goof. I'm the guy that carried him. I'm gonna kick his big red ass, and all this. Talking a lot of smack for a little guy against the big red machine here.
And this feud dragged out with them. I remember it went on for a while, right?
Yes, and because it went all the way to WrestleMania.
Yes.
In a tag match that didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
With Rikishi and Kane teaming together, what the hell is that? I don't know. So the next match on the card is Kane versus X-Pac, former tag team champions. Kane, I guess you can call him an honorary member of DX at the time they were together. I don't know. The team didn't make any sense to me, but once they were together, I kind of liked it a little bit.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
But I knew it wasn't going to last.
Right.
And once DX literally got solidified back together, I knew Kane's number was up. So, and now during this match, Kane hit the chokeslam on X-Pac and went for the pin. At this point now, Road Dogg came down because now you got to worry about the DX getting involved. He broke up the pin.
The DOWG.
Yeah. X-Pac hit the X Factor on Kane, which I'm surprised he could do it. He didn't get the pin. Kane now went for the tombstone, and Triple H now, correct me if I'm wrong, Triple H has got a huge match at the end of this night. Yeah. Why the hell are you getting involved in this match?
It was, I guess, because he's DX, and so
go get Billy Gunn.
I don't know. The one Billy Gunn.
Triple H
was he hurt at this point? Was Billy Gunn still?
No.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they were in the match. Triple H came down, hit Kane with the title, and X-Pac was disqualified, so Kane gets the victory. After it was a 3-on-1 assault, Tori came down like that's going to do anything, and X-Pac laid her out, I think accidentally, and then DX left the ring. This all coming pretty soon to a head when Tori turned on him, so Kane's just not having any luck.
Was this the match where, man, because we've been like doing so many reviews. I think this might be the match where Billy Gunn didn't have his title for some reason.
No, he didn't.
Road Dogg had his title though.
Yeah, Billy didn't.
Right, yeah. What, did he forget it at home or something?
Allegedly, and again, one side of the story that he showed up late to the card, and he literally showed up dressed and just ran out with it. That's why I think that's why he wasn't here tonight. That would make moment.
Yeah, I mean that would make sense.
Not the first time he's done that. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, this time I noticed. I'm like, did you forget something, Billy?
Right, yeah.
So now okay, they're obviously not losing the tag titles. He didn't come out with his. So now following that, Michael Cole interviewing The Rock. Didn't even get the interview going. Triple H just comes in there. And the two of them went at it. I loved it because then it's going to happen to Austin too. Triple H is really trying to light a fire under these guys. And if we would have gotten this match, I would have loved it.
No, it would have been great. It would have been great.
And with the whole story now with Vince going against Triple H,
But this was, I guess we might as well cover it now, as you mentioned it. But this was such a cluster. When they started playing hot potato with the belt, because 99 they were playing hot potato with the damn belt. I mean, not even to mention the beginning of the year with The Rock and Mankind and all of that.
And then it went back from Austin to Mankind to Triple H.
Because Mankind wanted at SummerSlam, right? And then he lost a night later versus Triple H, right? And then Triple H lost it to Vince, which was stupid. Yes. And then Vince relinquished the title, and I think it was the 6-pack. Was it a 6-pack challenge? I think.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the one the Bulldog was in.
Right, and then Triple H got the title back, right? And then he fights The Rock. He beats The Rock. He beats Stone Cold, I think, or I could have the order reversed. I forget because there were like two pay-per-views one month. I don't know if it was Rebellion. I know there was like they had it in your not in your house. They had a UK exclusive. They had a UK exclusive event, and then a couple weeks later it was the regular pay-per-view. Um, and then the three of them were supposed to fight, and we get what we get. That's what I'm saying. It was so chaotic with the belt, and
It almost felt it's like what they did at WrestleMania. Like once Mick went out and
yeah,
they didn't know what to do, so
yeah.
they're running around trying to figure out, okay, what do we do here?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a little chaotic because it's funny because you see Triple H at WrestleMania, still kind of skinny, and then you get to like big King of the Ring, Scott Steiner saying, "I'm the game, I'm the champion."
I
and
haven't,
all of a sudden he gets the belt.
And I haven't seen this. I haven't seen a lot of this stuff in years. Eventually we're gonna get around to it, but I remember the thing with Shawn Michaels and The Rock because it was on SmackDown. I remember Triple H. I guess Triple H was the champion. Rock was trying to get the title. He was going to win the match, and then Shawn was the referee, and Shawn super kicked him. And I thought they were going to go
SmackDown.
Right, I think they were going to go somewhere with that, and they never really went any. I don't think they ever really went anywhere with that, right? Because I forget when Shawn leaves. Does he leave right after that? I don't even remember.
It was just about in '99 that he was gone for a while, and then he comes back in 2000.
That I remember. Yeah, I don't remember when in '99 he leaves. I don't remember. I don't even remember.
Because his appearances were so few and far between at this point. And then he hit rock bottom in 2001 where he didn't even know his name, but he turned it around. But yeah, I was kind of hoping. I was like, okay, cool, we're gonna get a Triple H Shawn Michaels Rock match. Hell yeah!
Fight,
no, we don't get it. So next match on the card. Before that, they showed what happened the last Monday on Raw. Boss Man about Big Show's dad. This was a whole. I didn't. You know what? Seeing as what I went through with my dad a year and a half ago when he passed away, now going back and watching this, I'm fed up with that bullshit because this was I can't even get the words out for this. This was just despicable. That this whole storyline where he's burying his dad and Boss Man's putting it on taking the casket away and Big Show's on top of the casket, dragging him away.
Right, and he busts his ass. He falls off the.
This was one of the most stupidest storylines I've ever seen.
Terrible, in my life. Terrible. And then, were they fighting for the hardcore title? Was Bossman the hardcore?
Yeah.
Al Snow was in the middle of this whole.
Oh, that was that. And then before before that, there was the Kennel from Hell match because he ate the dog or whatever. And then to make matters worse, after this pay-per-view, I think it was Armageddon, but Boss Man gets a title shot.
Yeah.
All because Triple H is facing Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
So this storyline was ridiculous. And of course, then they showed last Thursday, Thursday before the funeral, he disrupted the funeral and all this stuff. So on Sunday Night Heat, now it was supposed to be Big Show, Blue Meanie, and Kai En Tai versus Boss Man, Mideon, Prince Albert, and Viscera. First of all, why the hell are you putting Kai En Tai in there? And Blue Meanie, who can't wrestle. And then so on Sunday night, he beat the holy hell out of his teammates because he's going at this 4-1. He is enraged at this point. So here we go. Didn't take long because the match was literally 90 seconds. Mideon by Big Show, choke slam and a pin. Albert, same thing. Viscera, same thing. And Boss Man ran like a bitch. So Boss Man gets counted out, but the other three. Now you just made if Viscera and Mideon didn't already look bad, they look worse.
What they did was
and Albert just started.
Yeah, what they did was they used this match to get the Big Show over because JR was going crazy about the Big Show, the Big Show. Like, that was setting him up to win the title later on in the night, which
that nobody knew he was even going to be in the match.
Right.
So following that disaster, Kevin Kelly is about to interview Steve Austin when Triple H attacked him. Austin chased Triple H into the parking area when a car ran him down. I did it for the Rock.
Well, later on, we found out.
Well, they figure they have about a year to figure out this mess.
Because Austin was going to be out for a while. There was a rumor that Taz was going to be revealed as the
anything would have been better than Rikishi.
Yeah, and it ended up being Rikishi, which destroyed his career.
Yes.
So there's a lot of controversy. People were upset that why didn't WWF at the time, why didn't they let everybody know that Austin wasn't going to wrestle because they advertised him and everything. But apparently, up fairly close to the event, Austin was going to try to give it a go, and the
Yeah.
doctors wouldn't let him. But he really, really wanted to wrestle. So that's why I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like that's
He
why.
wanted to try. Like
Yeah.
he's like, I'm
But
going to that match.
he was in such bad his neck was in such bad shape that they had to pull it. And I remember going into this, I remember like it's funny 'cause I actually remember where I was working. I was working, and believe it or not, I actually lived in Jersey for a few months. Worst months of my life, by the way. And
Always in Jersey.
yeah, I was working at CVS as a matter of fact. Yeah, I was working at CVS, and a friend of mine at the store, he's like, Austin is out. I'm like, what are you talking about? Austin's out. He's like, yeah, he's not wrestling at Survivor Series. And I remember just putting my head down, like,
Yeah.
because I wanted to see that fight. I wanted to see that
I
fight
was so hyped for it.
for the three of them. But
And the other thing I didn't like during this night was at first Ross is showing compassion for Lawler for Austin, and Lawler's like, "Dude, we got a match here. Try to focus on that and stop worrying about him." Then he switches it around, and the rest of the night going, "Man, you're cold-hearted. Your friend is lying in an ambulance in a hospital somewhere, and you just don't give it that." If I was Jim Ross, I'd have got up and knocked him out.
what the hell? I see.
It was just getting annoying at that
What the
point.
hell? I don't remember. See, because I don't really remember a lot of the stuff that was happening. Like, how was Shane? Was Shane a babyface at this point? Because why is Shane concerned over Austin, or were they just trying to make it seem like it was real? Because Shane is concerned, Vince is concerned when Austin is lying there to get the ambulance. Like,
Yeah,
what the hell?
there was a short feud within the McMahons going forward. That's what led up to WrestleMania.
Maybe they were just trying to make it seem like it was real, like he really did.
Like they were trying to show some compassion for him. Even Vince was out there.
Vince was out there, yeah.
And then he's yelling at Triple H, going, "What the hell did you do?" And he goes, "I had nothing to do with it." The only one not out there at the time because he's not there yet, Billy Gunn. And you had and the only person that doesn't fit out there is Test, because Stephanie's out there, Shane's out there, and here comes Test. I'm like, dude, what are you doing here?
Well, Test was.
I know he was on screen dating her.
Yeah.
Until we get the Vegas wedding.
Yeah, and that happened. I don't want to get too deep into this. That happened because Russo left. Because Russo had a whole different idea for that storyline. So
Test was supposed to go over big. This was going to be his push.
I believe so. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So they put Austin in a stretcher in an ambulance, and he's out. At this point, and of course, later on. Shane, I believe, or Vince, one of them says that there will be. I think it was Shane that said there will be a triple threat match.
Right, because Triple H is saying, "Well, it's just me and The Rock." Remember, Triple H is back.
This is when he went into Shane's dressing room. I'll get to that in a little bit because that segment was actually pretty good. Okay. Vince went with Austin to the hospital, so now it looks like that the special guest referee is out at this point. So the main event is in a little bit of chaos right now. So we go to our next match on the card for the Intercontinental Championship. China defending the title against Chris Jericho. Oh, jeez.
I never liked this stuff because I'm like, you're not doing Jericho any favors like this.
Not especially when she's getting over on him.
Yeah, like come on, what are you doing?
But plus the whole man, going up against the woman in the match. I know she could handle herself, but still.
Yeah. But the more she does, she gets exposed. Like. It's fine in like brief little moments where she does something, but to have her in matches and stuff, you could tell like.
And then eventually they just put her in the women's division where she really doesn't belong because she'll dominate the whole thing, and then she winds up getting fired and leaving. So, and I mean during this,
she did beat Jeff Jarrett though. She did beat Jeff Jarrett.
Well, she did us a favor.
That was for the belt too, right?
The month before.
Oh, okay.
I
was rooting for China that night
because this same month was when they had Mayhem, and this was when they had that tournament, and Jarrett was involved and all that.
Oh Lord Jesus Christ!
This is the night. Well, that was the pay-per-view. Brett won the title.
Yeah. Well, that was a good thing, but
and then we know what happened the following month. Yeah, I know. Miss Kitty got involved in the match, striking Jericho naturally. Jericho threw China into the announce table. That had Jim Ross going, irate. What the hell are you doing? Type thing. And of course, Jericho doing his usual shtick. He's kissing Miss Kitty. And then, she jumped on him. That was a whole ridiculous thing. China speared Jericho on the outside, which actually was pretty good. Both on the top rope, Miss Kitty distracted the referee. China low blow Jericho, and then a super pedigree, which was really done bad. And she gets the pin on Jericho, which was also bad because now you finally got Jericho to the point where, when he first came in, he was stinking up the house and they almost want to fire him. And he finally got it turned around, and yet you do this to him. So trying to defeats Jericho, keeps the Intercontinental Championship, which is like
doesn't make sense.
No. So now in the back, Triple H is explaining to Shane that DX had nothing to do with the thing with Austin. And then, of course, he asks, and he looks sincere about it, too. And then, of course, he goes, so the main event is no longer a triple threat match, right?
Well,
since Austin
him on the Rock.
And then Shane's like, get the hell out of here. He goes, I'm just saying, he's not there.
That actually was funny. And not for nothing, it should have just been. We're gonna get into this later on. It should have just been Rock and Triple H for the title. That's it. To me, that's what it should have been. I know we had seen it a few times already leading into this, but
you're going to see it for a whole 2000.
Right. So, but anyway, we will get into the main event later on. But yeah, I did enjoy that segment though.
Next Survivor Series matchup, you got Edge, Christian, and the Hardy Boys versus the Hollies and Too Cool. This is before Too Cool was cool.
Yeah, Edge and the Hardy. It's funny. It's Edge and the Hardys together.
And of course, they really couldn't get along because they were running into each other or accidentally hitting each other.
It was cool seeing them work together, though.
Yeah,
to do moves and stuff. That was cool.
Unfortunately, Edge is the first one out by Hardcore Holly. Edge was thrown into Jeff, and Hardcore Holly gets the pin, so he's the first one out. Matt Hardy next by Scotty 2 Hotty, a top rope DDT and a pin. And this, if you, this is at the point where if you're listening to Ross and Lawler instead of the match, this is where Lawler's getting on Ross about, stop focusing on your friend. We've got matches to cover, and then later on, it's you don't care about your friend.
He was messing with him. He was messing with him
constantly, though.
Yeah, he was messing with him.
That's why I'm like, JR, just get up and clock him one. I wouldn't be upset if he did. So once Scotty got Matt Hardy out, Scotty was the next one out by Jeff Hardy, a top rope 360 splash and a pin. This is when the crowd finally got into it because he did that move. Next, Jeff Hardy is out at Grandmaster Sexay, the top rope hip hop drop, which he wasn't named at the time, but that's what it was. He got the pin on Jeff Hardy. Of course, Grandmaster Sexay is the next one out by Christian, the reverse DDT and a pin. Crash Holly by Christian, the Unprettier, which wasn't labeled that at the time, but we know what it is, and got the pin. And then, of course, finally, Christian by Hardcore Holly, a counted victory roll into a pin. So Hardcore Holly is the sole survivor in this one. Imagine doing a grand finale with these guys. Forget it. I would have left the building. So following that match, Jim Ross spoke to Shane about the condition of Austin. He said that he is conscious and everything. He's moving his extremities. And Shane announced that there will be a triple threat match. So now everybody's like, and including me watching this, going, well, how are they going to get to put in this? Now you start thinking, did they sign somebody? Did they bring somebody back?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Is Sean coming back? I didn't think that at the time. So next match on the card was for the WWE Tag Team Championship. New Age Outlaws defending against Al Snow and Mankind. This is another match that I'm getting tired of with Mankind and the Outlaws and all this. Pretty much a spike pile driver on Mankind by the Outlaws, and Billy Gunn gets the pin. That's how it ended. This match was crap. Could have been better, but it was an absolute. It was a stink fest. So let's just move on past that. Then it was announced that Vince is no longer the special guest referee in the main event. That was told by JR. So now here we go. The main event is a triple threat match for the WWE Championship. Triple H defending the title against The Rock, and the Big Show came down and was now the third competitor in the main event.
Which, oh my god,
I didn't understand it.
The thing is, this is the thing, man, is that the Big Show, not for nothing, like through '99, he was a disappointment. And I'm not. I don't know if it's his fault. I don't know if it's the booking fault.
Good, bad.
Well, not only that, he didn't get over. When I first heard that he was coming in, I was excited because I'm like, oh, he's a monster heel. Like, this is going to be good. For whatever reason, it didn't work initially. Eventually, he does get there,
Yeah.
But it didn't work, and like you're throwing him into the main event for the title, and I just felt like he didn't belong. Like you're just feuding with the boss, man. I think you're involved in the hardcore stuff. Like,
Not
Now
to
you're
mention,
gonna get
just don't forget he was involved with the Undertaker in that tag team
right. And
before
Undertaker
Undertaker
and
went
Undertaker
out.
wanted nothing to do with him. Like remember Undertaker walked
Yeah,
out on him. He was like, "Yeah, the hell with this guy." So
they,
that's
and
another
then
thing.
then he
That's
was
another
part
thing.
of Union. Another thing they couldn't figure out.
Right. He just then from the get a title shot. That's another thing worth mentioning. This pay per view suffers because Undertaker went out with the injury,
Yep.
and Austin then gets hurt. He's out with an injury. So here we go. Main event, triple threat, Big Show.
And let's just forget the fact that these guys beat the holy hell out of each other. Chairs, tables, aisleways, everything that they beat the holy hell out of each other. It gets more interesting at this point. Big Show left Rock on the announce table, pretty much for dead. Triple H had the title belt. Shane grabbed it. Helmsley pedigrees Shane. Now Shane's incapacitated. DX comes down at this point, and with Billy Gunn, mind you, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Attacked Big Show and The Rock. Vince came back to the arena. I'm not pretty sure. I'm pretty sure he didn't
Probably never
leave.
left, but yeah, storyline wise, he came back.
Yeah, he came down and grabbed the title belt.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I watched this live, the first thing I thought was, "Oh shit! Don't turn on Big Show," because you've seen this before.
Right.
He grabs it. I'm getting ready to hit you, and then bam! Nope. He knocks Triple H the hell out.
But he missed the first time.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He knocks him out, followed by a choke slam from Big Show and a pin counted by Vince, the original scheduled referee. And for whatever reason, Big Show's the WWE champion.
Big Show's the champion, and The Rock
Now it's got to make me wonder: since he's replacing Austin in this, was Austin supposed to win the title this night?
Probably. I mean, the reason why they had Big Show go over is just because they were like, we just want to do something new. We want to try.
Well, then they also knew Austin was probably going to be out a while, and they needed another big baby face. But he's not going to be Austin. No,
I mean, you could have put on The Rock for that matter, but I understand what you're saying.
They could.
They wanted to do something new. That's what it was. They're like, let's do something new. We'll put the title on him, and it just didn't work because then he goes into the legendary feud with Boss Man. He was a horrendous champion. The Big Show was a horrendous.
Well, he was given one lousy challenger at a pay-per-view, and then
he didn't get over though. But he didn't get over, man. I remember. I don't know if it was a Raw or something. I remember watching. He came out as the champion, and the crowd was silent. It just
in December, yes,
yeah.
And then January 1st, he lost the title to Helmsley because that was the start of the McMahon-Helmsley regime from Armageddon. So the first act was Triple H giving himself a title shot, and he takes it off Big Show. Why don't you just go to the Rumble and do that?
God, and then WrestleMania 2000, he's in that disaster of a main event. He gets eliminated quick.
He was the first one out.
Yeah.
And then Foley, who was supposed to win it, he winds up going out. And they're running around.
Because he broke his rib. He busted his. He missed the table.
The man's gone off Hell in the Cells and walked away.
He took himself out.
He hits an announce table.
He took himself out.
Yeah,
took himself out.
Oh my God.
I thought this pay per view was a stinker. I think
this
is not. It was not even though at the time WWF is red hot and WCW is basically dead. I mean, they survive. They march on for another 18 months, whatever it is. But
bro, you could have had Sean Stasiak versus Taka Michinoku in the main event for the title, and they still would have crushed Nitro.
Yeah,
and WCW at this point.
But despite the fact that how well they're doing, this was a bad pay per view. I thought
they can put on a bad pay per view, but still hold their head up because we're still on top. So, but we're gonna have to do something going forward. Well, Boss Man getting a title shot is not it.
No,
sorry.
Very disappointing. Very disappointing.
And especially, like I said before, I hated. It was despicable that storyline with the whole thing with the cemetery and shit. It was bad.
Just bad. All right, well, that's our review. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. See you guys soon.
Take care.